What's up for August? Jupiter and Venus have a morning meet. We check out this year's Perseid meteor shower and peek into the future of our own sun. Mars is the lone planet in the early evening sky this month, visible low in the west for about an hour after the sky starts to darken. It's now only about 60% as bright as it appeared back in May. As twilight deepens, it sinks lower toward the horizon and sets around 2.5 hours after the sun. Saturn is rising by about 10 p.m., and you'll see it showing up a bit earlier each evening as the month goes on. You'll find it in the east after dark with the constellations Cassiopeia and Andromeda. The ringed planet makes its way over to the western part of the sky by dawn, where early risers will find it on August mornings. The real highlight of August is the close approach of Jupiter and Venus. They shine brightly in the east before sunrise throughout the month. The pair begin the month farther apart, but quickly approach each other in the sky. They appear at their closest on the 11th and 12th, only about a degree apart. Their rendezvous happens against a backdrop of bright stars, including Orion, Taurus, Gemini, and Sirius. A slim crescent moon joins the pair of planets after they separate again. On the mornings of the 19th and 20th, one of the best annual meteor showers. The Perseid peaks overnight on August 12th and into the 13th. Unfortunately, this year the moon is nearly full on the peak night, and its glare will wash out all but the brightest meteors. While that's not so great for Perseid watchers, the good news is that another favorite annual meteor shower, the Geminids, is poised for moon-free viewing in December. August is a great time to see one of the easiest to observe nebulas in the sky. The Dumbbell Nebula, also known as M27, is high overhead on August nights. It's a type of nebula called a planetary nebula. A nebula is a giant cloud of gas and dust in space, and planetary nebulas are produced by stars like our Sun when they become old and nuclear fusion ceases inside them. They blow off their outer layers, leaving behind a small, hot remnant called a white dwarf. The white dwarf produces lots of bright, ultraviolet light that illuminates the nebula from the inside, as the expanding shell of gas absorbs the UV light and re-radiates it as visible light. The Dumbbell Nebula, nicknamed for its dumbbell-like shape, appears as a small, faint patch of light about a quarter of the width of the full moon in binoculars or a small telescope. It lies within the summer triangle, a pattern of stars that's easy to find overhead in the August sky. You'll find the nebula about a third of the way between its bright stars, Altair and Deneb. Here's hoping you get a chance to observe this glimpse into the future that awaits our sun about 5 billion years from now. It is part of a cycle that seeds the galaxy with the ingredients for new generations of stars and planets, perhaps even some not too different from our own. Here are the phases of the moon for August. You can stay up to date on all of NASA's missions exploring the solar system and beyond at science.nasa.gov. I'm Chelsea Goad from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and that's what's up for this month. All month after sunset, look for the bright planets Venus and Mars in the western skies, and catch Jupiter as it climbs higher and higher in the east. On August 12th and 13th, don't miss the peak of the Perseid meteor shower. Though the moon will be bright, the radiant point of the shower, which is in Gemini, will be far enough north that meteors might still be visible during the evening hours before the moon's glow takes over. If you want to take a selfie with Venus and Jupiter in the morning sky, try it on August 11th or 12th, when they will be only a degree apart. If you want to snap Jupiter with its little-known rings, set your alarm for August 28th, when the planet will pass almost directly in front of the moon. As seen from Earth, the moon will obscure most of the rings, but keen observers might just catch a glimpse of the more prominent of them. And if you missed Venus passing between the Earth and the moon in June, you'll have another chance on August 28th, when the moon will pass between the Earth and Jupiter. Observers in eastern North America, South America, and most of Europe will get to see the transit, which will start at about 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time as darkness falls in August. Face east to see the first stars of the night, including brighter-than-average Capella in Auriga and the Pleiades and Aldebaran in Taurus. Looking a bit lower in the southeast, about halfway up the sky, you'll spot the bright stars Castor and Pollux, which form the heads of the twins in Gemini. Higher up, near the zenith, you'll see the bright stars Procyon in Canis Minor and Sirius in Canis Major. The latter is the brightest star in the entire night sky. After a few hours, as the sky darkens, turn your attention to the southwest and look for the bright constellations of summer, Sagittarius, Scorpius, and Capricornus. Continuing to track these constellations westward, you'll spy Antares in Scorpion, Arcturus in Boats, and Spica in Virgo. All three are bright stars that will sink toward the western horizon. In the northern sky, meanwhile, look for the bright stars Vega in Lyra and Altair in Aquila, which forms the northern half of the summer triangle, asterism. Completing the triangle in the southern sky is Deneb in Cygnus, which you'll find nearer the horizon, along with the bright stars Capella in Auriga and Procyon in Canis Major. In the pre-dawn hours, look for the Pleiades and Aldebaran in Taurus. along with bright stars Castor and Pollux in Gemini. To the south, you'll see the bright stars of summer, Antares in Scorpio, Arcturus in Boats and Spica in Virgo. By the time the sky has darkened, though all three will have dipped below the western horizon. Later, in the evening, facing southeast, look for the bright stars, Capella, Altair, and Deneb, which form the corners of the summer triangle. Finally, after dark, look for the Great Rift region in Sagittarius, a dark nebula that looks like a faint smudge on the Milky Way. With a little imagination, you might just see the head and shoulders of a profile of an astronaut suited up and floating through space. Venus shines brightly in the morning sky this month, climbing highest overhead in the east just before sunrise. Look for the slender crescent moon near it on the 19th and 20th. Jupiter rises a bit later, but still appears high in the east before sunrise. It passes within a few arcsecons of the Beehive cluster on August 19th and 20th. The Beehive cluster is a collection of some 600 stars that are easy to spot with binoculars or a small telescope. Saturn continues its slow climb higher in the sky in the evening. In the pre-dawn hours, it reaches opposition in the eastern skies, where it will appear brighter than it has all year. Facing east, you'll see it rise above the bright stars, Capella and Aldebaran in Taurus. In the pre-dawn hours, look for Neptune about halfway between Saturn and Jupiter. Neptune is very bright in the morning sky this month, shining between Saturn and Jupiter.